What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mo.J. We are locked in. This is episode 3 of Cruel Summer. I'm going to keep this intro short today because there's only one thing I want to know. Are you believing Jeanette or are you believing Kate? Let me know, because there's a lot of other things we need answered, but that's the main thing. Who is lying and who is telling the truth? Before we get into all that though, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you want to be a part of this, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit the like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. But we've seen Jeanette is suing Kate for defamation of character. You're lying on me, Kate. You're lying on me. And for me, I think Kate is a little bit jealous because Jeanette is living a life. But we're going to find out what's really going on. This is episode 3 of Cruel Summer. The events that are about to unfold take place on approximately July 4th, 1993. That's Baby J, curly hair, glasses, braces. 1994, Popular J, straight hair, no glasses. 1995, that's Dark Jeanette. Short hair is always dark and gloomy. That's how you guys can remember which year we're in. We start off at 93. Baby J's in here. She's doing some writing. Her mom comes in with some orange juice. She's, oh, thanks, Mom. You know, everybody's happy to get orange juice in the morning. And her mom's looking at her like, it's been so long since I seen your face. We should probably get you contacts. And Jeanette, she like, nah, Mom. You know I don't like touching my eyes. But they sit down because it's 4th of July. Let's see what the news got going on. This whole episode is going to be focused on the 4th of July, so there's fireworks and everything going on. While they're watching the news, Molly Green, the reporter, yeah, it's going to be a lovely day out here for the 4th of... Fireworks are going off behind them, so they like, oh my goodness. While we're watching Molly Green in 93, they fast forward us to 94. Now they're talking about Kate is going to come out and tell her story and is going to expose Jeanette for allegedly seeing her while she's locked up. Now her mom... Sydney, she's watching the news and she's like, oh my goodness, if she releases this, everybody in the town is gonna know. Now the brother Derek is like, Mom, everybody already knows in the town, this is a small community, what Kate's about to say, so it's not that bad. Plus I've already been getting kicked out of events and out of parties because people think my sister did this, but I don't believe that, 'cause this is my sister and we believe Jeanette. Remind you, this is 94. The whole time Sydney and Derek, they're arguing about what's going on and what Kate's about to say, Popular J is on the couch and she hears all of this. And Derek's like, okay, Mom, yeah, I'm gonna tell my friends. And the mom is like, you need to go ahead and tell their parents also. And the whole time Popular J is sitting here listening to it. And you could tell she's kind of hurt because, hey, if someone's saying that you've seen them locked up and you didn't report it, that's going to look bad on everybody. I mean, you didn't do the kidnapping, but you might as well be an accessory to it. So Popular J, she's going through it right now. Fast forward to 95, Dark Jeanette, she's riding and she's in that minivan. I told y'all about a minivan. If you see anybody under the age of 30 with no kids driving a minivan, you got to watch out for them. It's just no way around it. But she pulls up to a stoplight and guess who's in the car next to her? She looks over and it is Kate. Now, Kate is upset. She gets out. Get out the car, Jeanette. You stole my life. You're jealous. You hated me from the beginning. You took my life. And she's banging on the windows, banging on the hood of the car. And Dark Jeanette, she's in the car like, come on, change the light. Come on, come on. And then she speeds off with Kate just in the middle of the road yelling. Oh, man, 95 is a crazy year. Derek's upset. We're in 94. Derek is upset about this. So he goes out and talks to his dad. Hey, Dad, you remember that black eye? Jamie gave that to Jeanette. She didn't get it from volleyball. And Greg's like, what do you mean? He hit her? He's like, yeah. So Greg's trying to figure out why would Jamie punch his daughter? And Derek's like, man, because all the stuff that Kate said. With everything her missing and everyone thinking Jeanette did something, Jamie punched her in the eyes. So Greg's like, oh, no, we ain't having this. Nope. We heading over to Jamie's house. Now, I'm riding in the back seat because I'm like, man, I ain't letting this go down either. Men can't put their hands on women. We get over there. I stay in the car, though. They get over there. They talk to Jamie. His mom actually answers the door. And when Jamie gets up there, he's like, what's going on here? Because it's Derek and Greg. And they're like, did you hit my daughter? He's like, man, I made an accident, man. It was a mistake. I'm sorry about that. It won't happen again. And Greg's like, I'm not trying to hear none of that. You touch my daughter again, it's going to be problems. Now, Derek, we know Derek is a wild one. So he's already trying to get those hands to Jamie. But Greg's like holding him back. Because we can't just whoop on him, you know what I'm saying, without no actual evidence. We know he did it, but in the eyes of the law, you can't get back days and days later. You can't do that, people. As Greg and Derek are leaving, Jamie tells him, Jeanette isn't who you think she is. Because he's been with her, so he's seeing a different side. And he's like, I don't know if I can believe her. But of course, family members are 9 times out of 10 going to believe their family members. But Derek ain't trying to hear this, man. You trying to slander my sister's name? Come on, get these hands. Fast forward, it looks like Jamie's actually been stalking Jeanette. So he's been outside on the street just watching the house, just watching and watching and watching. Now the cop, he takes Jamie to the house because Greg, Jeanette's father, called the police like, hey man, there's a guy out here stalking. Now Jamie's trying to say it's a public street, but Jamie's really trying to do some investigation on his own to figure out, is Jeanette really telling the truth or is she lying? But there's a lot of stalking going on here and we need to figure it out. All right, we got the crew together. Back in 93, we got that list, right? And on the list, one of the things says swipe contraband from our family. Now, Mallory, what does she do? She gets weed from her mama. What does Vince do? He gets a little bit of liquor, but he said the liquor is trash. And what does Jeanette do? She just gets a like a Playboy magazine type from her brother. Now, everyone's sitting around. They're like, okay, what are we going to do? Now, they thought just stealing it was on the list, and Mallory's like, nah, we're gonna smoke it, we're gonna get high, y'all, let's get high. Now while they're sitting there, Mallory, she's like, man, let's do it, you know what I'm saying? Y'all been high before? Vince is like, me, nah, I ain't never been high before. And we already know Jeanette. She's like, no, we're not doing that, that's not what we're doing. But while they're sitting in here, Greg knocks on the door. Yes, Mallory, you need to go home real quick. With Mallory going home, now it leaves Jeanette and Vince with the toughest decision that they have to make as a teenager. What do we do with this marijuana? And Jeanette's like, you know what? I'm going to flush it. If we flush it down the toilet, there'll be no evidence. Now, as a kid, they're not knowing, hey, man, you got to pay for that weed. You can't just be flushing somebody's weed down the toilet, especially in 93 when it ain't legal. You can't be wasting nobody's weed. And Vince, he says the right thing, man. Mallory's going to be upset if you do this. While Jeanette goes to the bathroom to flush the sticky icky down the toilet, Vince looks around. Ain't nobody in here. Let me see what this magazine hitting on. He opens it up and he's kind of like, turns it sideways. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Now, this reporter, Molly Green, she's been on this case since the 4th of July back in 94, and she's just on it and on it and on it. Talking about Jeanette's going to sue Kate, but there's something wrong with Jeanette. It's people like that they can't separate reality from this little fantasy life that they're living in, and they don't know right from wrong. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with her, but it's just her view on things. She's wired differently. She's victim blaming. That's what Molly's trying to put out there. She's victim blaming, saying Kate was locked up, but we need to blame her for that. I didn't see her. So this is very interesting on Molly's take. All of a sudden, we hear a doorbell ring. And it takes us back to 94, and it's the cops, and they're at the door. They're talking about, hey, Jeanette, we need to take you down for some questioning. Now, at the same time, Greg and Derek, they show up, and they're like, wait a minute, I didn't touch Jamie or anything. And they're like, listen, it ain't about Jamie right now, but we do need to take Jeanette downtown, and we need to ask her some questions about this. Now, these cops were going to take her by herself underage. Now, I don't know if they don't know the law or they just don't care. They was going to have her talk, which wasn't going to be able to hold up in court because she's underage with no lawyer, with no supervision. So they were just going to take her down there and start talking to her and just see if she would admit to anything. And by the law, she could have admitted to every single thing she wanted to, but being underage, wouldn't have been able to use none of it. We get to see Vince. Now, to remember Vince, young Vince, short hair, 94 Vince, just now starting the locks, longer locks, 95. So we're in 95, and he's working at a fake Blockbuster. One of the co-workers leaves. He gets on the phone. He makes a phone call to a gentleman, and we can't really tell who it is on the phone, but it sounds like a young teenage man around his age. And Vince is acting different now. And the guy's like, hey, man, you can't keep calling here, man. It's going to make people, suspicious about things. Now, when he was younger, we knew he liked Jeanette, but he never confessed his love to her. And I always knew there was I don't know. It was something else about him. You could tell he wasn't all the way for girls. So that was just my theory. But he's on the phone, and the guy on the phone is like, hey, man, you can't keep calling here, bro. You can't keep doing that. Things just aren't getting any easier for Dark Jeanette. Now, They put lion slam pig on her window of the minivan. The dad's like, what does this mean? Pretty much means whore, dad. Pretty much means whore. And they're just saying I'm lying that I seen Kate down there and I didn't have anything to do with this. So everybody's messing with her because until the truth comes out, people are going to believe what they want to believe. And it's just giving her a hard time. Mallory finally gets back to the house. Now, if you remember, she got called by her mom, had to come home. Turned out the mom was just looking for the remote for the TV. Now, Mallory's like, look, my mom's about to be watching TV. I'm going to have to get that weed back, at least one of the joints. Because when she's watching TV, she just lights one up and goes at it. And Jeanette's talking about, well, I did you a favor and we actually flushed it. Now, Mallory is flipping out. I told y'all, you can't just throw away somebody's weed like that. She's like, you really didn't help me. You actually got me in trouble. I'm not going to have any weed for my mom. Oh, man, it's about to get ugly. And she storms out. And Vince is like, Mallory, wait. They take Popular J down to the precinct. They're going to do some questioning. Now, Sydney, she's flipping out. Oh, it stinks in here. This doesn't look like no place you're just going to ask questions. This is where murderers and killers go. My daughter doesn't need to be in here. And this is an investigation room where they do the interrogations at. Now, the cops are like, hey, just calm down. We're just going to ask her some questions with her consent. Now, she can give you consent, but she's also under the age. She's not an adult, so you're still going to need the parents' rights to even consent with her. And Jeanette's like, yeah, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Come on, Mom, let me do it. It's just questions, right? Disclaimer, people, never, ever answer questions to the law unless you have a lawyer present because they're taking you in there to jam you up. That's all they are. The cops are not on your side when you go into this room. All they're trying to do is figure who did what and lock somebody up. Dark Jeanette's watching TV, and we know how TV goes, especially late night talk shows. They get up there, they make a joke about whatever the biggest topic is. And this guy, he gets up there and like, we can all relate to Jeanette, can't we? Yeah, you're right. We can't relate to that. Who wouldn't tell the cops that if they seen somebody locked up? So Jeanette, she's just taking it from the locals and from all the national media. She changes the channel from all that nonsense, and it turns out there's a girl in the courtroom and she's on the stand crying and stuff. Now, if you remember, Jeanette's lawyer told her she needs to be more likable and more relatable. So what she sees is this girl crying on TV and she's like, be like that. So she starts making herself cry and trying to get the words out to say, everything Kate said is a lie. She's just mad because, I'm just living life. So she's basically trying to fake it to imitate what people see on TV and they feel sympathy for. Okay, maybe Jeanette's not lying. She's crying up there. She's really emotional. Maybe she's not lying. Maybe she didn't see Kate. Back down in the precinct, they got Popular J in here. Now they're asking her questions and she's kind of stumbling over her words. Now, whenever someone starts to stumble over their words, they're probably lying or they're just super nervous. But they're saying, hey, if you didn't see Kate down there, how does Kate have this necklace? The You Go Girl necklace. You know, first episode, got it for her birthday. And she looks at it. Oh, that's not mine. I actually threw mine away a while back. You know, that could be anybody. There's millions of them made in the store. And they're just saying, I don't know. Something isn't adding up. Now, you see Greg back there with his hand on the wall. Like, man, what they doing to my daughter back here. And Sydney, she really ain't putting up with this. She like, the hell with this. I'd be like, interview over. And this is why I said Sydney's probably like, we need to stop this interview. Because now they get on, was there a fight with Jamie about Kate, Wallis? And she's like, and the cops are like, yeah, we might be on to something. Excuse us for a minute. We're going to go out here and talk a quick second. They're starting to connect the dots and putting two and two together. And we get to see Dark Jeanette practicing. I'm the victim. I'm the victim. Probably need to slap yourself a little bit to get the tears actually rolling down. But she's going through the steps because you got to clear your name. You got to do anything possible to clear your name. Now, people been wanting to know where's Sydney and where's Derek at. Well, we're starting to see the buildup of why they either separated from the house or where they actually went. Now, Sydney, she's like, Jeanette was just lying at the police station. What else has she been lying about? And Greg, being the father that he is, he's going to stick with his daughter no matter what. Man, those are just rumors. Don't believe none of that. Don't let none of it get to you. And Sydney, she's oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on here. And then all of a sudden, Popular J comes, hey, are you guys ready for the fireworks? Like she wasn't just down at the police station 30 minutes ago lying to the cops about a missing girl. I don't know, Jeanette. I'm on your side, but this is kind of tough. Greg sits Jeanette down and tells her, look, I went by Jamie's house today. And for her, she's like, you didn't go over there and embarrass me or anything. He's like, listen, I had to let him know it's not okay to put his hands on you. No one should ever put their hands on anybody. And we don't lie to each other in this house, because Jeanette is still trying to say, oh, it happened from a volleyball accident. Now, I'm not too familiar with teenage girls and how they are, but she's deflecting and trying to protect the guy that she likes. And that's a bad thing, because this can lead over to abuse when you get older and you'll just be used to it. And that's not a good thing. So Greg is trying to let her know, listen, no one should ever put their hands on you. And if they do, you leave that situation alone. And we don't lie to each other in here. Back at the movie store, Vince is working and in comes Kate. Now, Kate's looking for movies. Mallory comes in. She's like, bro, we need to kick it pretty much. Like, hey, let's do this. Let's do this. And he looks over like, Kate's in here. Kate comes up with some movies and she's starting to check out. And they're looking at the movies. She had like Silence of the Lamb. All the movies that she was picking up are movies of women that were kidnapped or such abuse was happening to them. And they're looking like, why did she rent these movies? Shouldn't she be looking at something more joyful? But these movies are something she can relate to, and she wants to just see how these people are feeling, how they're moving throughout the show. Mallory's like, look, we got to get out, man. It's the 4th of July. Let's kick it. And Vince, he's acting different. He's like, nah, I got to go help a friend out. She's like, I hope it isn't Jeanette. And he says, don't worry about it. It's got to be that person that was on the phone. Now, we don't know who it is yet, but it's got to be them. Here's where things get a little bit interesting. Now, Jeanette and her mom, they're sitting down, and Jeanette's saying that me and my friends, we got into an argument, and I don't really have that many friends. And Sydney's like, oh, don't worry about it. You're a beautiful young woman. You'll eventually find people, because people grow apart. You'll find new friends. It'd kind of be like how me and Joyce were when we was in high school. And Jeanette's like, you and Kate's mom? She's like, yeah. Actually, Joy used to follow me around in school because she wasn't that attractive. I was the prom queen, homecoming queen. I was everything. And she used to just follow me around. So this whole time, we thought Joy was the popular one, but she wasn't. She didn't become that till later on. Now, even Sydney says her husband, the football player, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Heisman Trophy winner, he used to be feeling me. Even Kate's dad used to like me before he passed, but Sydney was the lady. She was the lady. Vince locks the store up. It's the end of the night. I'm up out of here. So he gets up out of there. He hops into a vehicle, and guess whose vehicle it is? It's Ben, Jamie's friend. Now, I told y'all, Vince has been acting different, and we could tell that he always liked Jeanette, but I didn't have a feeling that he was, straight. It turns out he seems a little gay, which is fine. Now, he gets in here, and Ben's like, do you think they know? Are they suspicious of us? Does she know where we're going? And he's like, nah, but let's get there. Everyone wanted to know where was Derek at in episode 2. Well, Derek graduated. You guys asked the question. Here's the answer. He went to college, people. My boy continued his education. Now, he came home because washing laundry at the house is free. I mean, the parents got to pay for it. But him and Jeanette, they start talking. And she's saying there's people out here that want her dead. And he tells her, as your handsome older brother, I don't want you dead. I love you. I care about you, and I really want you here. So for these two, they have their relationship. It was kind of shaky, but they always were able to talk to each other. You remember they were talking to each other about what he did for his 15th birthday on her birthday, and he was talking about he drank the beer. So they always had a close relationship, and he always looked out for his sister. And he got a girl from physics calling, Miss Claire. We're still in 95. It's the 4th of July. Greg's in the house throwing beers back. Jeanette's talking about, hey, I'm about to go out. And the dad's saying, do you think that's a good idea? She's like, yeah, everyone's going to be at the fireworks. And he says, was it a good idea to leak the lawsuit to the media before we actually serve the papers to Kate? Now everyone knows about this and it's just a media frenzy. She's like, well. So he's going through it. He's drinking. That's probably one reason Sydney left. She probably didn't want to be around all this, and he's drinking now. But she says everyone's going to be at the fireworks. He opens up another beer. Crack, crack. Well, not everyone, because he ain't going to it. He's just staying in the house. As Jeanette is walking out the house, guess what? The next door neighbor, Vince, he's taking the trash out like a good kid does, doing his chores. And he looks, he's like, man, where the hell is she going? After leaving the police station, we get our stuff together. We head on down to the park. Now, when they get there, it's Jeanette, Greg, and Sydney, and they're walking. They see Jamie. He got like some, it doesn't look like Dr. Pepper. It's like some Mr. Cola or something. So he has that, and they looking at him, and you already know Greg ain't feeling Jamie right now for punching his daughter. But everyone else in the park, they're looking like, ooh, what is Jeanette doing up here? Why is she out here? She knows she's seen Kate locked up and she's out here just coming to celebrate 4th of July. Get out of here. On the way there, Ben is talking to Vince like, hey man, do you really believe Jeanette? And Vince is saying, well, yeah, I've known her all my life, so I think I can trust her. So this relationship between Ben and Vince seems like they're kind of feeling each other, because he's like, well, if you can trust her, I can trust her. These two never hung out with each other. Ben was always hanging with Jamie, the popular crew, and Vince was with Mallory and Jeanette. So this is you guys' new couple right here, Vince and Ben. 4th of July 93, it turns out Jeanette goes back over to Martin's house. Now she's knocking on the door. Hello, Martin? Martin, you here? No answer. But if you remember, she had that key. She put it in her little jewelry box with her necklace. So she actually goes inside the house. Now she's in the house with a flashlight, looking around. What is this girl doing? And well, I was right. Vince turns out to be gay. Him and Ben, nothing wrong with that. That's what they like. That's what they like. So they end up going to this little house on the outskirts of the city. And when they get in there, you can see there's a whole bunch of, there's gay couples in there. Seen a couple of lesbian couples. And this is just where you go, because this is a safe place for the LGBT community. Outside of the city, you ain't got to worry about nobody harming you and stuff. And it's always good to have you a safe place that you can go to. Now, it's their first time going in here and they're nervous, but they get in there, they hold hands, and they end up dancing with each other. Now, there's two older ladies over at the bar, and they said, hey, they're underage. She's like, girl, just let them dance. It's their first time. I just won't serve them no liquor. So that's good. They're looking out for everybody in there because, like I said, this is a safe place for them. Popular Jay goes and talks to Jamie against what her parents want. She shouldn't be involved with Jamie at all. But when you're trying to clear your name, you're trying to clear your name. Now she's talking to him and she's saying, I got questioned by the police. And he's like, yeah, welcome to my world. I did too. But I don't have anything to hide, so I'm not worried about it. Now for her, she's still kind of hurt. Like, hey, we had a relationship together. What about the kiss we had? He said, man, look, Kate can't know anything about that kiss. She's back now and I'm not going to abandon her. So he's pretty much just separating himself away from Jeanette. Like, hey, I'm with Kate now. Whatever we had, that's in the past. So Jeanette said, can you at least get her to talk to me? He said, man, I can't do that. Come on now. Now, Jamie asked a tough question. People want to know, how did he punch Jeanette when the report never came out that Jeanette was missing? Well, he says, Jeanette, you told me that Kate was missing before any reports or anything came out. That's why he punched her, because how did she know she was missing before the news or Kate even showed up? And Jeanette says, you know what? F you, man. F you. Young Jeanette, when she's in the house, she's actually looking for something. She finds Martin's high school book at Widow Falls High School in 92. This is the school he was at before he switched over to the school that he's at now. She finds the school book and she's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to take this right here. Jeanette takes this high school book over to Jeanette's house. This is pretty much a peace treaty, a peace offering. I take the list very seriously. Number 13, steal something. This is what I did. Now, Mallory's looking at it like, oh, man, I'm impressed. You went back over there? She's like, yeah, I did. So this right here is what squashes the beef between them. And Jeanette says, I don't want to argue no more. And Mallory says, good. We're back friends. It was just, in the heat of the moment, I was upset. Now, Jeanette gets ready to run off. Mallory's like, look, my mom's gone. Come over. We got Piece of Rose. Let's hang out like old times, which was just yesterday, So they go back to being friends. Dark Jeanette breaks back in the house and she goes downstairs in the basement and she's looking around and she just having flashbacks of when she was younger and she first came in the house and she was looking downstairs in the basement when they were playing hide and go seek. But it turns out Vince actually shows up too and he's like, what are you doing down here? And for her, she said, the first time I got here, I always felt bad energy or like something bad was going to happen. And I just came here to see if I could try to reverse this effect that's happening back to when no one wanted me dead when everybody liked me and no one was hating me. And Vince is like, how was any of that working? She's like, it's not really working at all. She then asked him a question. He's like, well, I called Ben. So it seems like Vince and Jeanette, they still been talking to each other because she knows about Ben. And she asked him, I thought you said that was over with. And he said he felt like time heals all. So these two, they still have a communication with each other. It's not as big as it was, but they still conversate with each other. And he's just saying, maybe it's just me thinking of bad magic like you too and trying to reverse things. They bring my dog Vince in for questioning. Now, this is Jeanette's lawyers. Pretty much at this point, they're trying to get a character statement. You know, okay, it's a deposition. You got the other lawyer in here too, but they're just trying to get, okay, everybody's story. Now, they ask him how long has he known her? He's like, all my life. Have you ever known her to lie? Not to me. So the lawyer's like, so she's George Washington, she can't tell a lie? And he's like, look, man, she's never lied to me. Now, Mr. Vince, you were in the house the first time she entered in 93, right? He's like, yeah, me and Mallory were. Now that they know that Vincent's been in the house with Jeanette the first time that she entered the house, he asks a question. Do you know her? To the best of your knowledge, do you know if she's entered the house any more times after that? We get a flashback to the basement. Now, he asks, Jeanette, how many times have you been in this house? And she says, a lot. I'm addicted. The rush I get from breaking in this house, I've been here a lot of times. Back in the deposition, what does Vince say? He covers for Jeanette. To my knowledge, I don't think she's ever entered that house again. I don't think she's ever been back in there. So he's still covering for his friend. It might be because she's covering for the Ben thing, but he's covering for his friend because, hey, to the best of my knowledge, I don't know if she entered that house or not. Y'all looking at me? I don't know if she entered the house or not. That's all I'm going to say. Jeanette is turning into a bad girl. She done broke into the house. Now she's getting the rush of this. Baby J, she kept one of the joints. She kept some of the weed, people. Are y'all seeing this? She kept some of the weed. Shoot, I'm going to hit a little puff here, there. Shoot, I'm about to get high. All right, there you go. Cruel Summer episode 3, the recap. Let me know what y'all think about that whole thrill and rush that Jeanette's getting from breaking into this house. She got the key, so it's easy access. What do y'all think about all that? And do you think it's cool that Vincent is covering for her? Let me know what y'all think below. But I'm Mo.J. That's Cruel Summer episode 3. This show has actually got me hooked. They need to give us 2 episodes a week. You can't do this 1 episode a week, man. We need more. We need more. We need more. But thanks for watching. If you like the content on my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It's the easiest things you can do. And thanks for watching. Be here next week for episode 4. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.